Picture being the manager of a sprawling sports bar on, well, Super Bowl Sunday. You have 50 screens, a dozen different live satellite feeds, and just hundreds of shouting fans.
Oh, yeah. That is a massive stress test for any venue.
Right. And if you hit the wrong button and accidentally switch the main projector from the game-winning drive to like a rerun of a fishing show, you have a literal riot on your hands.
Absolutely. You'd never hear the end of it.
No, you wouldn't. So we are looking at the piece of hardware that actually prevents that disaster. It's the Kramer RCP-1616 Remote Panel from HDTVSupply.
Yeah, and on paper, I mean, it's a very dense, highly technical B2B listing.
It really is. But okay, let's unpack this, because hidden behind all that jargon is the invisible architecture controlling the screens you look at, every single day.
The stakes in commercial AV setups are surprisingly cutthroat. I mean, to really understand how venues manage that kind of pressure, you have to look at the gear.
So what are we actually looking at with this Kramer panel?
Well, the RCP-1616 is a standard 1U 19-inch rack-mounted control unit, and it features 37 tactile backlit LED buttons.
Okay, 37 buttons. That's a lot of buttons.
It is, but it's logical. You've got 16 for input, 16 for output, and 5 just for control. And its primary job is essentially to act as a clone. It just duplicates the physical front panel of the main 1616 HD-3G switcher.
Oh, I get it. It's basically the ultimate universal remote for that massive sports bar.
Yeah.
Like you can just route any game to any screen from one spot.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is the Ethernet control capability.
Wait, so it just plugs into a regular network?
Yeah, it uses a standard RJ45 connection. And that network connection means the operator doesn't actually need to be in the same room as the bulky switcher itself.
Because those main switchers, I mean, they're usually buried in a server rack, kicking out a ton of heat and fan noise, right?
Oh, they sound like jet engines. So this completely decouples the operator from the hardware. You can have the massive, noisy switcher locked away in a basement server room while the operator sits at a nice, quiet control desk, like 3 floors up.
Or even in a different building.
Exactly. They can control the entire visual ecosystem remotely.
Wow, that makes total sense for large-scale operations. And HDTVSupply deals in some massive ecosystems, right? Like we're talking about routing matrices that handle up to 160 by 160 screens.
Yeah, 160 screens is a huge setup. For anyone not doing this daily, a matrix isn't just a basic splitter.
Right, it's a complex grid.
Exactly. Any of those 160 inputs can be sent to any combination of 160 outputs, all simultaneously. They even build TAA-approved systems.
Which means the supply chain is strictly vetted for secure, classified government purchasing, right?
You got it. The complexity of a 160-screen matrix, or say, a government command center, it just requires an absolutely bulletproof interface.
Okay, I hear that, but so what does this all mean for the bottom line? I have to push back a little on the cost here.
Fair enough.
Because this remote panel alone runs for $1,015. Why on earth would a venue drop over $1,000 just for a hardware remote control?
It sounds steep at first glance.
Right. I mean, we live in an era of iPads and customizable touchscreen apps that cost, a fraction of that.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you really have to consider the environment. I mean, touchscreens are great for your living room.
Yeah, I use mine all the time.
But they lack tactile feedback. In high-stress, zero-margin-for-error environments like a live broadcast or a military command, post operators rely entirely on muscle memory.
Oh, so they need to physically feel the click of the button without looking down.
Precisely. A physical, hardwired button provides instant, zero-latency execution. A touchscreen app, it might lag or lose Wi-Fi or register a phantom swipe.
A phantom swipe during a pay-per-view fight would be a nightmare.
Exactly. When you're routing critical data or a massive pay-per-view event, you are paying a premium for the absolute guarantee that when you push a button, the system reacts instantaneously.
It's the cost of absolute certainty, which, actually brings up another layer of how these systems avoid failure. Dealing with the routing math for a massive matrix setup is incredibly complex.
It's a huge puzzle.
Right, and one mismatched component ruins the whole chain. You aren't just buying the circuits and the LED buttons.
No, you're not. And that's where the human infrastructure comes in. HDTVSupply actually boasts a 96% top-tier customer rating.
Which is pretty rare for high-end B2B electronics.
It is extremely rare. But reviewers consistently point to specific support staff. There's one highly praised technician named Rachel.
Oh, I saw her mentioned in the reviews.
Yeah, she is known for literally catching order errors in a customer's configuration before the warehouse even packs the box. She proactively reaches out to correct the math.
That is just an incredible safety net. You basically have a rock star troubleshooting your setup before you've even unboxed it.
Exactly. High-end tech relies entirely on high-end human support.
It really proves that all this zero-latency hardware still fundamentally needs hyper-competent people to actually function in the real world.
You're buying into an entire ecosystem. I mean, the hardware gives you the capability, but the invisible human element ensures the execution.
That puts a completely different spin on the infrastructure hidden in the walls around us. So I will leave you with a final thought to wrap up today's deep dive.
Let's hear it.
The next time you are sitting in a sprawling sports bar with dozens of perfectly synchronized screens switching feeds without a single dropped frame, consider the invisible, rack-mounted brains working quietly behind the scenes.
It's easy to take for granted.
It really is. And more importantly, think of the unseen support staff people like Rachel, working quietly to keep that entire visual symphony running perfectly.